Talk about edgelording.
McMuffin is probably still on Pinterest.
Yeah,
I found the ultimate support healer half-orc build.
Mm-hmm.
how did you actually ask? I was actually looking at half orcs.
There you go. Gorath is psychic. Alright, since I got some sass when I was doing my summary last time, I'll try to condense it even further. Yeah.
No.
Malik found some voodoo dolls, which we played keep away with for a little while. Currently, the tally stands at Yulia having McMuffins and her own, and McMuffin having Gorath's voodoo doll. Just throwing that out there. We decide to look through the house that we had exited the mirror into, and it ended up getting burned down before we could loot anything, so that was fun. We escape through the mirror. We find a hallway that Yulia had dreamed about, where it seems to have all of the past and potential victims of the crimes that we've been investigating in Cloud City. Yulia does a quick... not really called a recon mission, is it? When you're just looking for information in general, or is that correct?
You just scouted it out, did a quick recon.
I would give you that. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So she goes into the mirror of the closest person who hasn't actually passed yet, and we find out that this potential victim is a newly consecrated priestess in Yulia's religion. And Birdie freaks out and gets sucked into the magical lighter, the holy lighter, whatever it is. And then we are heading back to the place where we originally came from, the temple room, and we see that there is another guard passing in the doorway that is wearing a yellow robe, and that's where we left off when McMuffin was still with us. What we did last session was that Gorath and Yulia, for whatever reason, as we're passing through this mirror to go into the observation room, instead of going into that observation room, we hear this weird tearing noise, and we get put into this totally different room that we've never seen before, that we didn't see through any side of the mirror, and we see a figure in the center of the room, surrounded by a circle of salt. Just as an aside, McMuffin, have you ever heard of, like, circles of salt before?
Yeah.
No? You've never watched, like, Supernatural or anything?
Okay.
So,
I've heard of it, like sort of occultist type of stuff.
basically, and just from what I know as someone who's super into just fantasy media in general, Yulia's just super suspicious of that. Anything that's contained within a circle of salt is immediately, like, don't listen to them, don't do whatever they say. So the figure is this guy, and he's trying to convince us to disturb the salt circle, and Gorath is like, meh, but Yulia tells him, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Gorath. Sorry, I'm reading. We are in this small circular room, and we kind of look around, and there is a crystal on a pedestal, and there is a book on a desk, and then there is a door and a window on one side of the tower. We look outside the window. We can see that we really are really high up. We're surrounded by forest. It's rainy and stormy as all hell outside. Gorath and Yulia go outside. There's basically no way up or down from the tower, so we basically almost immediately go right back inside and inspect the room itself. We find a book which looks like the ravings of a crazy person, and it makes no sense, but Yulia pockets the book anyway because book. And Gorath goes over to the crystal and picks it up and puts it in his pocket, and then a woman appears, just throws open the doors of the tower. and starts talking to us, wondering what the hell we're doing up here, how we got here, what we're doing, if we disturbed the salt, blah blah blah. And we discover after a little bit of talking to her that she is actually DLT, McMuffin's aunt. And we are how many years in the past? I don't think I actually wrote it down. We're a couple of decades in the past. So we have managed to time travel again.
Mm-hmm.
We talk for a little bit, and she tells us that the mage, the figure in the salt circle, is an evil mage that has been locked up in this tower for everyone else's protection, and that he's been here for about 60 years. We thank her, we tell her we won't tell anyone about this, and we say peace out, and we go back through the mirror. And as we go back through the mirror, we hear that tearing sound again, and we pop out into the observation room that we were originally trying to get through, and McMuffin comes in right with us, and that's where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Yes.
Yep.
So Muffin sort of just like disappeared, or was he just like there the whole time but he wasn't saying anything?
McMuffin did not come with
you,
us.
Yeah, you didn't come with us, but when we went back through the mirror, you were there, like nothing had happened.
Okay. Did I see y'all disappear? Or did I see y'all go in?
I'm assuming it was kind of instantaneous. Like, you didn't notice anything because we literally went out of time for a little while. That's my assumption.
So McMuffin, while you in the last episode, you guys were walking back through the mirror into the small hidden room that had the magic mirror that was basically one-way glass. Yulia and Gorath went through first, and then you went right behind them. And when you walked through the mirror into the small room, the hidden room, you notice that Yulia and Gorath, like they're drenched, they're wet all of a sudden. And now you guys are all standing in the small hidden room, including because behind you was our vampire buddy.
Why are y'all soaking wet? Did y'all go to a pool or something?
Complicated. Oh, God.
Yeah, I think that we went through time, but then came back to right now, and we met one of your relatives. She was nice. She gave me this.
And Gorath will reach in his pocket and pull out the crystal. She gave me this thing, which that's cool. I think I like her. Yeah, I didn't know that she was that cool. Last time we met, she was a lot younger this time, which is
To remember us for sure when we met her in this time.
Muffin sort of blinks at you, scratches his head, looks at his vampire friend, and he sort of looks and says, weird stuff's happened. I didn't see it, so, well, when I get to meet her again, I'll ask her.
Like, that's an extremely healthy attitude considering all of the weird shit that we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best attitude to take.
It'd be off-brand to be like, what? You went back in the past?
Exactly.
No. I literally died, bro.
Yeah, and Malik would definitely have that same question, like, so you guys were just back in time again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, you know, the explanation I'm sure you guys would explain those kind of things. So you're probably standing here in the small room, forgetting that there's other things outside of this room, but like, you guys are having a nice little moment. It's fun.
Yeah, little moment.
considering how much time you've spent with us and what you've seen so far, if you spend any more time with us, this will become commonplace to you. Like it won't even faze you after a certain point.
I wonder if time travel's contagious.
I mean, it was contagious to McMuffin's parents. Sorry, McMuffin, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of contagious, if you talk to my aunt, excuse me. If you talk to my aunt back in the past, does that mean that's going to affect the present?
I genuinely have no idea.
Well,
The camera?
maybe it already happened in the past, and we're just fulfilling the present. If you get what I'm saying.
You just see fume come out.
Man. Time paradoxes. Good job, Brian. It's a great...
No problem.
It's a great, stable way of going about a story.
If only you hadn't burned down the quick way to Hisfilet. You can find out.
Not my fault. Totally didn't do that.
Actually, it was your fault.
Does McMuffin still have? Yeah, how many potions does McMuffin still have?
Let me check.
You never used one, right? It should have been 11.
I did. I used
Here's
one.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Burn down that house.
Yeah, so I have 10.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, we see these the weird roby people. Are they still in that room over there?
And so you guys peek through the one-way mirror, the magic mirror, and you see... Yeah, that's when you saw... you see a yellow-robed figure place down a wooden cat statue pointed basically at the mirror and leave the room.
We whittle a wooden mouse statue and put it through the window. I'm kidding.
Is it sunny?
It is. It is still daytime, so
Okay.
Malik is definitely, quote-unquote, sweating it a little bit.
Yep. Tanning it.
Yeah.
All right. So we know not to look at the cat if we can. How do we want to do this?
Well, the cat statue only had an effect when we looked directly at it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we could certainly avoid looking at the statue again, although we might find it has other powers. But that seems easier than avoiding the yellow-robed figure. Can we watch to see if the yellow-robed figure has a certain interval time between passing the doorway?
Seems like a very reasonable plan.
Right. We're gonna plant here and watch his movements. I like your thinking, Yulia.
Sneaky. I like it.
Well, assuming we sit and watch for a little while, about how long does it take for the figure to make their rounds?
If at all.
Right. So you guys kind of just hang out for 30 minutes, and you see no movement at all. It's a good time to recant the room. The room is kind of an oval-shaped, large, high ceilings, all glass, stained glass that let light come in and looks really cool. You got all of you are a little amazed because you had really fucked this room up on your last time through. There were broken everythings, and you're a little impressed that they have really cleaned it up quick. Again, you're looking through a one-way mirror. You definitely get the idea that this room is used for whomever to look in, or you could say spy even on on the people in this room. This room, of course, again, is used for typically, it's where you bring the people with money in to make them happy and give you money. So, of course, there's a huge mirror in this, so they can see themselves in a grandiose fashion, with in the best light, And so, you would presume that, like, perhaps there's some advantageous reason why you would want to spy on these people. Sure, makes sense. But yeah, so you should be able to, because the magic mirror is only you guys can trigger the mechanism to let you out from the inside. Just you didn't have the mechanism on the outside, so you probably wouldn't get back in. But you could probably slip through and into the mirror plane and mirror walk if you would like. But yes, so you've been sitting. This is my explanation to give some weight to the 30 minutes you've been sitting here waiting to see if there's a sentry. If the yellow robe is on a sentry duty.
Okay. What were you going to say, Yulia?
I was going to ask how many minutes because it kind of cut out, but 30 minutes. Okay. Mm-hmm. I guess if I were being super cautious, which I imagine Yulia probably is, she would wait for the sentry to pass again and then assume that we probably had a little bit of time in between passings.
Well...
but I don't know what you guys want to do. We could certainly go out into the room and hide so that we're not visible, so it's not like we have to wait.
Or I think if it's, Well, I mean, how big is this church?
Oh, was this the entire church? Or just this room?
The church.
Aren't we just watching the room?
Well, I mean, because if we're assuming he's a sentry and he's doing a patrol or something like that, you can kind of extrapolate, kind of how long it might take for a typical patrol.
Certainly doesn't have to be the only sentry, though. He might have a set location that he patrols. You could be right. We just don't know yet.
I think 30 minutes is probably like long enough to, like, if you haven't seen anybody in 30 minutes, that's either they've got really, really shitty patrols, or there isn't one.
Okay. Well,
if that's the case, then I think, wouldn't it make sense to send like one or two people rather than like everyone?
we certainly could. It is sunny, so Malik should probably stay in here.
Mm-hmm. I can check and see if it's clear.
Cool. I can check too. I'm pretty sneaky.
I won't look at the cat, I promise.
Oh, yeah, don't
Gorath, I don't think you're the most, I don't know. He sort of looks at you, Gorath. He looks at you up and down and says, you're not the most, how do I put this nicely? Unassuming person?
But I am the person with the biggest sword.
But yeah.
Malik looks down
it's hard to like hide.
Malik looks at his sword and has a frowny face.
When we first came in, Gorath and Malik were using the mirror plane, and McMuffin and I were the ones who came in through the front door. Can we tell? I mean, has it been longer? Obviously, some time has passed if things have been fixed. I just don't know. I mean, a cleric and her, I don't know, guard or whatever, come in, disappear, and then pop out a couple of days later. I have no idea how inconspicuous we would be. I don't know.
Well, I mean, me and Malik came in through the mirror plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yes.
So, I mean, we could ostensibly all exit via the mirror plane.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there isn't some magical barrier.
Or, yeah, that sends you decades
back in time. Yep.
I mean, worst case scenario, we have to beat up some light monastery people, which, considering that we managed to avoid getting our asses handed to us by an evil mage, I mean, we could be doing okay.
True.
I mean, you are of the cleric. It would be. I mean, Malik has to use the mirror plane because he can't travel by daylight. And I think Gorath would kind of turn and ask, Malik, do you know if these killings that have happened, did they happen at night or during the day?
And he says they generally happen at night.
Right. Okay.
And by generally, I mean all of them.
Okay.
I know we saw a really huge elm tree, I believe, Brian said.
We didn't pick up the beginning of your sentence there.
I'm saying I know that when Yulia went through the mirror to see who the next victim was and where she was, there was a really huge elm tree. So we could look through the mirror plane and see if there was a place we could come out that was close to that and maybe talk to the family. Or, I mean, what's our biggest priority here, I guess?
Well, speaking not as Gorath, but just as a player, the reason Gorath asked that question is he kind of wants to establish kind of urgency. So if it's daytime right now, the person that we saw is unlikely to be murdered immediately.
Right, right the second.
So
still, I mean, that's not a whole lot of time to try to get to them, but
it's, it's kind of, it determines whether or not we can, whether we need to, there are basically two approaches to this is we walk out and be obvious or we be a little more inconspicuous. And we might, in this case, have the option to take the time to be more inconspicuous and go by mirror travel as opposed to just running out of a room randomly and, excuse me, cleric, where's the nearest giant elm tree?
I think that's a good argument. McMuffin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think being conspicuous is the best option because we don't know the hostility of these people, and honestly, Muffin's not trying to murder some guards.
Yep. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's see if we can find a way back into the main town and see where we can find this potential victim. I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, then I think Gorath and McMuffin will have to rock, paper, scissors for who gets to go through the mirror first.
Okay.
I don't know. How do we do that with dice? I guess
that's a good question.
Just 2d6 and whoever gets it wins.
Yeah.
Fine.
I told you rock always beats scissors, but you're not listening.
But rock is hard.
Whatever. Anyway, move out of here. I'm rock steady right now. That sounds weird, but the point is, I'm going first.
I want to rock.
There's a song called Rock Steady, sung by some group. God damn it. Who sings that? The Whispers.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
Or Salute
Completely off topic, so there you go.
Yeah, in other words, it's...
Continue.
Whoa, rock steady, bam, balam.
No. I'm divorcing you right now.
Cool.
Okay.
So, McMuffin, you you look at the mirror, and you guys have never really opened this mirror, so you just kind of push on it. And it with a little bit of force, there's like a mechanism, some sort of mechanism that allows it to open from the inside. and the mirror kind of creaks open a little bit.
Oh. Is there a draft coming through?
Wait, I apologize. Which mirror is this?
This is the
mirror
magic
that we just
mirror.
came through?
No, this is the magic mirror, like the one-way
Okay.
mirror. Because the one-way mirror is like a full, that's how you guys get into this small room. One of the guards had some sort of device or was able to open the mirror from the other side, but you guys are able to get through it, no problem. From the inside, it opens out. Let's say
It's out into the chamber that we were looking into in the church.
Yeah.
I
so
thought.
yeah. So you guys are in the. Let me set the story a little. So you guys are in the little hidden room off the main rich room. Inside of which, I know it's weird because there's mirrors everywhere. So there is a mirror behind you that leads to apparently it leads to the private, the smaller, like an exclusive mirror plane, which is interesting. That's behind you. In front of you, you see another what on this side does not look like a mirror, but on the other side it is a mirror. So it is a one-way glass, basically, to think of it like that. Hence the magic mirror, right? So because there's no such thing as one-way glass back then. And its mechanism, when you're in the small room, you can just open it. You would think of it this way. You would think that, oh, yeah, if you're in here, if someone lets you in here, you can just get out. But you can't get into this magic mirror without some sort of little device that apparently the color guard have.
That's never not going to be funny, Brian.
That is
I'm
always
sorry.
funny. Yeah, no. I thought it was funny when I thought of it. I'm like, oh yeah, of course they'd be the color guard. Super fun. And so McMuffin, you guys didn't really know, but you just kind of pushed on it because that's what you do. And some mechanism inside click, and the mirror cracks open a little bit. What do you want to do?
Well, McMuffin's going to sort of say, well, I'll see y'all on the other side. He's going to crack the door open. He doesn't want to make a noise, so he's just going to crack it open until he can fit himself through, and then, enter. Quietly.
Yeah, so,
he's going to... Can I run himself?
Of course.
Okay.
Do you have stealth as a skill? I can't remember.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I don't think we ever talked about, what did I do? It just gives me an advantage. We can just say that?
Yeah. So if you have a skill in it, roll advantage, roll 3d6, and keep the highest two.
We do have stealth. Okay.
Yeah.
What would that even be linked to, or do you just need the skill in order to stealth?
Typically.
I would say Dex just from D&D.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just put Dex anyway.
Okay.
But the skill at least, makes it harder to lose, right? So cool. So you got an 11. You got a 12 plus 2. Well, because with a skill, we're not even adding the Dex at that point because you get advantage, I think. So that's cool. And you really can't. You can lose a little bit, but not. It's really hard to lose when you've got advantage. So you got an 11. You silently. Do you want to just slither into the room?
Slither into the room, sort of Solid Snake style. He's sort of kind of acting kind of cool.
Yeah.
So he sort of just goes in the room to I want to see does a roll. Yeah, he does a roll.
Does he? What?
Just I don't know how to call it. Not like a drop roll.
Oh, you want to
like that.
You want to do a silent drop roll into the room, like a somersault.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you got to roll me Dex.
Well. Oh wait. Oh shit. Okay. Fuck. All right. Cool. That's cool.
Okay.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. West German Shove gives you a 9. It's really nice. So you roll into the room and you you pop right back up, and you hear this little. It's a weird, like. It's just like a soft sound, like a soft hum kind of thing. Give me a con roll, if you will, sir.
Give me a second. That's passing.
That is passing. Okay, yeah. You like the noise gives you a little tinge, and it seems to be emanating from the direction of the wooden cat. But you are aware that you should probably not look at this, right?
McMuffin, feeling that tinge, he's gonna, I don't know, can you, like, dig into his bag and just find lint?
And find lint?
Yeah, because he wants to stuff his ears, because if it's making him feel tinge,
yeah,
he feels
cool.
uncomfortable.
Absolutely, you can.
Block the noise out.
Absolutely.
I mean, with all of the
All right.
traveling, I'm assuming he has enough lint.
Oh, yeah. And not only does he have it, it's elaborate lint.
Whoa.
Like
Elaborate
downy
one.
fabric softener.
His elaborate clothes only produce the finest lint.
Finest dust bunnies.
Fun fact: dryer lint makes great fire starter. Just so you
It
know,
really
It's
does.
great
Oh,
kindling.
yeah. I use it all the
Oh.
time. Goes up like a mofo. Whatever a mofo goes up like.
Yep, exactly.
Gorath, were you following closely behind? Did you shake off the urge to clap at his at McMuffin's drop and roll?
I mean, Gorath, will inwardly be impressed, but at the same time, he's also watching to see what jumps out and, attacks McMuffin. So he won't directly follow. He'll let McMuffin go out and then kind of pause,
Cool.
pregnant pause, and see if, any giant rolling boulders come out or anything like that.
Saws, yeah, at the kneecaps.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Out of in game and out of game with your restraint from using your athletics to try to top him, but impressive. Cool. So you see him do his, tuck and roll. Impressive. Got the 9 from the West German judge, who's always a dick.
That West German judge, man.
They're rough.
Hard.
Yeah, really. So 9 is like a 10.
Unless you're West German.
Exactly.
Sorry.
9 means no. I wanted this to be no.
9 and C.
Okay, all right.
Cool. And as far as you can tell, there is. Are you like watching through the? You haven't ducked your head in there, is what, I guess what I'm asking. You're just watching
No,
through the.
and I wouldn't
cool.
take much of a pause. Like once I saw that the coast was clear, I would step into the room. I don't. Well, I guess seeing that McMuffin. This is a conundrum. So I don't think Gorath is really the sneaking type.
Eh? No.
I mean, like, there are times, like, when you're, like, sneaking up to, like, or being stealthy on approach to attack, but just going into an empty room, I don't see Gorath feeling the need. Gorath is, he's a child of, kind of guerrilla warfare, so to speak. Orcish warfare, and that sneak is only used in ambush and in assault, not as a means of getting around. So I think he would just step through the door.
Cool.
No, sorry, that was a really long-winded way of explaining that. But
No, you were thinking through Gorath's characters, your characters. Yeah, totally fine. Cool. So as you step into the room, you also hear this dull noise. Gorath, will you roll me a con check as well, please? And you notice McMuffin stuffing really fine lint into his ears.
Yeah, he points at his ears.
2. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you also feel this little. It's just like a body tinge, like twitch. But yeah, nothing happens.
Okay. Yeah. Gorath is traumatized by that fucking cat. So, Gorath wants nothing to do with the cat statue. I think Gorath would just resolutely stare at where he wants to go, which is the other mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, McMuffin's gonna start. He's gonna like sort of look around. Is it just a straight? Is it just a straight walk there, or is there? Is it sort of like a hallway in the left or right?
No, this was off kind of to your left as you were looking into the room. So yeah, you guys can make your way right through it. No problem, really.
Okay, there's no other doors or rooms in it. This hallway.
In this room, there is a main doorway. Yeah, so like that opens out, right? Like, because it's a grandiose room, right? Like it's gold leaf and stuff all over the place. This is their fanciest room to make you feel like, oh, I should give more money to these people. Although maybe if you walk into the room, you'd say, God, these guys have too much money. But whatever, rich people.
Gorath will turn and like mimic plugging ears with his fingers back at like Yulia and Malik through that mirror. I mean, he can't see them, but he knows they can see him. Just kind of like plugging the ears and then just kind of points a thumb towards the cat without looking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yulia will probably pick up on that, and though her pocket lint isn't nearly as luxurious as McMuffin's, she will plug her ears and head through the mirror also.
Mm-hmm. And Malik just sticks his fingers in his ears and slides through the door as well.
Okay, let's go for the mirror and probably be quick about it.
Cool.
McMuffin's gonna like start walking.
Yulia says fast. This, and everyone goes, "What?" Cool. So you guys all walk to the mirror. Is that right?
Yep, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And you find that it works just fine. Like, yeah, mirror works just as you'd expect it to. You guys fly right through it. And you look back and you see, just like you can see the cat from here. Yeah, that's Gorath. Yes, sneaky. That's actually pretty rad. How'd they make that?
I have no idea, but it's cool.
Yeah. What the hell is that thing? It's pretty big.
I think it's a CG Iron Man suit. I think it might be the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
From I think pictures and the
that's pretty rad. So you guys are now in the mirror plane, as you are probably very used to now. The mirror plane is like a grayscape weirdness.
I'm getting a vacation home here.
Yeah, totally.
Scenic mirror plane.
Scenic mirror plane. Yeah, that goes seemingly on for extended periods of time with various little lights.
Some great animal life.
Yeah.
Beware of evil doppelgangers who are trying to murder you.
Yeah, I mean,
occasionally just a good spider collection here as well.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, so your neighbors might try to kill you, or might be your doppelganger. You never know. It's a good time here in the mirror plane.
Yeah,
I'm transfixed by looking at that huge Hulkbuster Iron Man, which I have not seen that movie yet.
So I know we've kind of touched on this before, but does the mirror plane have set paths that you can navigate, or does it seem to rearrange? I know we've talked about how the mirrors themselves might be rearranged as the mirrors in the physical world move, but I mean,
Correct.
how consistent is it to navigate?
It would be very easy to navigate. Yeah, except given those. So, like the portals that you guys went through, which was the mirror that you went through in the hidden room. That is actually a portal to a specific place. The portals kind of chain together different areas, and as you're starting to understand, like. Like they're basically regional, because as mirrors would be. So you're not hopping too far in these, though you can. Like once you know where the portals are, you can move very quickly, specifically through town or even larger spaces. You can travel fairly easily long distances, but it still takes you some time. So you got to go through a bunch of portals.
I think that she probably should have started doing this beforehand, but I think Yulia will take out her notebook and try to keep some sort of tally of what mirrors lead where and how they got there. So she'll just be jotting down, what they see along the way.
Cool. Draw on a map.
Yep. McMuffin ducked out for bathroom. Do we want to take a quick 5?
Yeah, let's do that.
That's probably a good time. All right. See you guys in 5.
Cool.
Just got through the mirror, and we are looking to get back into town.
Yeah, and so Malik will know the way back to his place. He can lead you guys easily through the little mazes and whatnot.
We did ask Malik, didn't we, if he knew where there were some exceptionally large trees in town or just outside of town?
And and if you're asking that him, are you asking him that right now?
I'm asking you. Didn't we already ask him, or if we?
Yes, because I was like, I was going to turn to you as Malik and say, their last name is Wine. I'm pretty sure we can find them.
What was that?
You also knew their surname is Wine.
Wine. Okay.
Remember you read the diary?
Yeah, I didn't write down her actual last name though, so let me go back and add that.
I have it too. Now, where the hell is it? I really need to make these notes a little bit better. Okay, cool. Hilariously, it is Julia Wine was the mother, and
Julia Wine, mom. Ivana
also
was the daughter.
Also hilariously, Ivana Vine.
Ivana Vine.
Ivana Wine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I went back and added that into my notes. Okay. So I'm assuming we're going to let Malik take the lead on this one and lead us back to his place and then go out looking.
Yeah. Cool. So Malik shows you guys the way, and you see, like occasionally he's ducking the light coming through the occasional mirror. It's the normal fare. You guys end up back at his place. His mirror, of course, as we remember, or maybe not, is in the back, in like a, you could almost call it like a bunker, like remember the jail cell, like, because he knows what comes through there.
Yeah.
So you guys enter the mirror into the jail cell. The doors are open at this point because, he would have closed them, I suppose. And you guys he escorts you guys back into his house. Because, you see a way up that doesn't go outside because obviously he doesn't go outside right now. And he asks you guys what would you like to do. He mentions that he is going. I'm a little bit out of juice. I'm going to rest during the rest of the day. I don't want to leave you guys on your own, but if I could be of help or point you in a direction, I'd be happy to.
Well, we need to find this girl that may or may not be killed, and also we may need to find an arcanist to explain the little gadget that has Birdie inside of it.
Yeah, and he looks
I'd
at
say
you.
that the
Go ahead.
girl was probably higher priority, but
Sorry. Think of D&D character. McMuffin will look at Gorath and say, "Well, I don't know. I agree with what Gorath's saying."
I mean, I don't know if we can kill two birds with one stone. Or not Birdie. It's just the same.
Malik pours
Yulia-
himself a cocktail, he grabs the decanter off the coffee table where Gorath is,
As
usually
he's
picks it up.
speaking, he's like walking that way.
And he pours a drink. And he's like, "Yeah, the girl. Sure. I mean, we just saw a bunch of weird shit. And he Gorath comes up to him and he kind of taps the where he knows the crystal is. He's like, "Be nice to know what that is." And he's like, "Yeah, you just sucked a thing into a bird into some sort of device." And I think he would probably use air quotes when he says bird.
yeah.
It's like hanging out with you guys is no picnic.
Well,
You've
Yeah.
never had more fun.
He would say that he'll tell you God, what's the butler's name now? I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me.
Would take
Armand.
Play, but that is our other game.
Yeah, Armand would he would ask Armand to come in and ask Armand to figure out the whereabouts of the wine residence, let's say, for you guys, and he would also give him instructions to point you to one of his because Malik has people all around. He's like, "Yeah, this person, my friend." Oh God, what is his name? Sorry, I don't have all my notes in the. My friend Benedict is an alchemist that I trust. He's kind of interesting, but he should be able to help you guys. And Armand can give you that address as well.
no, Armand is the alchemist on kind of towards that direction of the wine lady.
No.
No. Okay. Right.
He's not sure where the wine lady is exactly yet, but he will figure it out. The alchemist is downtown, very near the temple.
Okay. So then, as a party, what do we want to do? Do we want to, because we don't, Armand is gonna, I guess I would ask Armand kind of, how long it would take him to contact who he needs to contact or whatever to figure out whereabouts to look for our potential victim.
Mm-hmm. And he turns. He says, "It'll just take a minute."
I mean, well, while we're waiting, what should we do?
Yeah, so what is your guys' plan? Let's talk about that.
Yulia's main concern is finding this girl and her family. That's, I mean, the lighter is interesting, but I think it's coming at a distant second to wanting to help this family.
Well, I think what Brian might be getting at is how do we want to approach this? Like, do we just go up to her and like, excuse me, you're in danger? Is kind of randos. I mean, you are in her order, so that does.
I was gonna say. I mean, Yulia can sort of say, "Hey, I have reason to believe that you're in danger, and I would like to help you out, or guard you, or just something."
But at the same time, we've also got, I think we got probably enough in world for characters of a higher intelligence than Gorath to suspect that, someone within the church is partially responsible,
yeah,
or fully responsible.
They're definitely involved somehow.
So that might be a factor. For Julia, I guess, for Yulia, would it just be taking kind of the straightforward approach?
Yeah, I mean, Yulia's definitely interested in finding out what the hell is going on and trying to get to the bottom of things, but she's really worried that they're going to have another victim on their hands, and that's at the forefront of her mind.
So then, okay, so let's say we warn her, or do we provide protection? How do we?
Excellent question.
That does fall into question, and I don't have it in my notes because I remember looking. But what do we know about the victims? Where they were last seen, or you said that they were found or they were attacked at night. I guess Julia just wants to figure out what information she can about where the attacker might be striking, what sort of things that the attacker is waiting for or going off of for victim selection or any number of things.
Right. So, yeah, just to kind of recap that, the victims were all, if you remember, basically killed with some sort of almost surgical tool and finesse, like some skill with an extremely sharp blade. There was that. It was clear to you guys at least, and to Malik and some others, that the victims were not killed at the scene where they were found. There, like the lack of blood, that sort of thing would denote that. But yeah, they were found, like typically at random times, but like generally clearly killed at night. Some would be found when they are found at various places, and that's kind of all you know.
And there wasn't any consistency on where they were found. They were just found in random parts of the city.
Seemingly random, yes.
Seemingly random.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to use your decipher skills to just like while you're standing here, go through it in your brain? 3d6.
Decipher would be a 3d6.
A 7.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Or a 5. Yeah.
5.
Yep. So you are, you're like, don't see anything with that.
Do you have in your notes where they were killed, or is it just kind of something you haven't planned out specifically?
There is no specific place.
Okay.
It would seem almost suspiciously random, right?
Okay.
Intentionally vague.
Yes.
I mean, about how far apart are they? I guess what I'm getting at is there seem to be an epicenter. You know, a lot of killers will sort of strike within a certain radius.
Sure. So no, they've popped up, downtown, in the rich area, in the poor area, just like. Well, and you failed your roll, so that's pretty much all you know. Is you cannot see a connection between the logo. You know where they were found, and you do not see a connection between them.
Can I try to figure something out?
What's that? What was that?
Somebody else can roll. You might not have to decipher, but somebody else
Sure.
can roll.
Roll me some wisdom. Fun wisdom all over the place.
Gorath
But
rolled intelligence to ask in his random. There's something else we could do too. Ooh, this would be a good time to do that.
can we ask Santos?
No, I was gonna. Where are my rules on it? The skull cap.
Ooh. Oh, you guys did
You
not
did that
tell.
last time.
You guys did not
We
tell
didn't.
McMuffin about the skull cap.
We totally forgot to tell you, McMuffin, and I don't know if Gorath wants to tell you instead. Gorath.
Yeah, I used the skull cap to. Oh my god, what did I use the skull cap?
You wanted to know, or we wanted to know what the entity in the center of the salt circle was.
Yes. I wanted to. I wanted to know if I put on the skull cap and was like, is the guy, if we let this guy out, is he going to try to kill us? And I got DM'd basically a rule from the role that the cap has, and I understood that he would try to kill us, but I can't say that. I had to I had to try to convey it in a different way.
Every time he tried to answer if this mage was dangerous, he just said a random word like banana.
Yeah, it was just a random word.
It was
Fortunately, Gorath is good at sign language.
Yeah.
He rolled an 8. I put
But
the 8 in there for you, McMuffin.
It's not bad. 8 is not bad.
But first, let's we can hold off on the skull cap. Let's let McMuffin do his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You rolled a 9, McMuffin?
I rolled a 6.
A 6.
Wisdom.
Yeah. So, yeah, they seem suspiciously random to you, too. It's the best thing you can think of.
I'm drawing blanks on this.
All right. Gorath will take a look at the document and put on the skull cap and try to make heads or tails of it. Try to is there a pattern to the killings? Mm-hmm. And what is it that I roll?
2d6.
2d6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
At least you know what it is.
Yeah, let me check the fucking DMs.
Is the skull cap effect permanent? Like, can Gorath just never talk about that mage that we found in the circle again, or is there a time limit?
There is a time limit, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah.
Yes, there was. What were you asking?
What's your question?
My question was if there was a pattern to the killings and their geographic location. You know, we're looking at the killings, and it was like suspiciously random, and so I wanted to know if there was a pattern to the killing.
I mean, is the answer yes or no? Because that's a yes or no question. Do you figure out the pattern, or do you just get a yes or no?
We will find out.
We will find out.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, our GM is kind of a jerk. Just be aware of that.
So
Gorath has the answer.
Gorath will stroke his chin and be like, Mr. Wrinkle.
Not again.
What does that mean?
Sandwiches.
Yulia?
Well, Yulia will tell McMuffin. It means he knows the answer. He's just not allowed to actually say it to us, apparently.
Well, if you look at the map, well then, and look at where they are, it comes out to Bottle Cap.
McMuffin sort of looks at Gorath, and he goes in his bag and starts looking at the bottles he has. What? What are you talking about?
No. It's shoelace.
Oh, I get it now. He goes to his look at the pictures. Huh. I think I'm
Yeah. Capsaicin.
Do we have a map? Does Malik have a map that we could actually look at?
He does. He opens a drawer, pulls out a scroll, and puts it on the table. Fans it out onto the table for you guys. Here's a map of the city.
So we'll mark with anything that happens to be handy, coins or I don't know, something, where the murder victims were found, and then ask Gorath to try to communicate in whatever way he's actually allowed to what he sees.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Brian, does this only affect speech?
Yes.
Okay. So Gorath will take a pen or quill or whatever, and he'll say brandy, and then write no pattern.
Wait. Can Gorath write?
And you can write in Orcish, which is mostly stick figures, I believe. You've said.
That's that is something that I established, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can just shake your head. Gorath, do you know that there is a pattern? Or is there a pattern?
Pork
the
chop.
way you asked that the first time was like, but you saved it with the second time. Gorath will. So you asked, "Is there a pattern?" Gorath will shake his head no and say, "Horseshoe."
In that case, I think we're back at kind of square one. Is there anybody investigating this murder? I mean, is there anyone we could talk to? Malik?
And Malik says, the city guard is looking into it. I could have I could see if some of my connections can find out what they know, or find out the person to talk to, at least, if you'd like.
That would be wonderful. I would love to talk to anyone.
Cool. Consider it done. he's like, he calls for Armand. Armand's got a task list now.
Years.
Seabiscuit. I just wanted to say something random. It wasn't for anything.
What's a sea biscuit?
Better question is, I wonder what Malik is doing. Not Malik. I mean, I'm gonna say Santos.
Where is Santos?
He probably flew off or something.
It's an
He's
excellent
probably
question.
drunk
Wait.
and partying.
I'd be concerned if he flew
Would be
off.
concerning. Although I guess now we can travel by mirror, so it's not as much of a much of an issue.
I still like balloons.
He misses balloons.
All right. Well, we got a lot of. Yeah, we really are kind of
Got a
back
lot
to
of
square
lead.
one.
Yeah.
So Brian, what about time of day? Is it?
It is 5 o'clock.
Okay, so it's getting later in the in the day. I couldn't hear you at all.
Definitely. I mean, if it's 5 o'clock, these attacks mostly occur at night. We should probably, or at the very least, Yulia wants to go and try to find this girl.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think we can start there, by trying to protect somebody and see what happens. Put in give it our best shot.
And Armand, as you say that, comes in and he has a raven on it, on his whatever hand. He takes off a little strip of paper and hands it to, I'm going to say to Yulia probably. And it has an address on it. We got to fix Yulia's microphone. And he says,
Sorry.
"The wines, madam, the wine residence."
Thank you so much, Armand. I really appreciate it. Do you have the information where I can find the person in the city guard who might be able to talk to us, or is that? And she'll look at Malik, or is that something that will take a little bit longer?
And he looks at the raven and he says, "I will find out shortly."
Ravens have little rings around their feet.
So he's using the raven to send messages.
Yes, I'm asking if the ravens have little bands around their feet, like the ravens we saw so long ago.
Oh, those kind of ravens? No. These ones, no markings, no things. Just when you said bands around his feet, yes, there are, but they're for messages.
Okay. In that case, again, Yulia's kind of champing at the bit to find the wine residence.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And you look on the map and you see that it's not. So you guys are in the wealthy. You're up the hill in the wealthy. These guys are down basically, not in the slums, but like not in the rich area, in the kind of normal area or poorish area. Kind of like the equivalent of, I don't know, crappy suburbs. Like they're not downtown. They're out. These people would be more of the like the workers of the city, that kind of thing.
All right. Well, how is everybody doing on health? I think that we're all pretty much full, aren't we? We haven't really had a battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm full on health.
I got some. I took some damage from something that I forget. It was probably something silly. I took 3 points of damage from.
Oh, that was from our voodoo our voodoo doll fight.
Right,
I think.
yeah.
I think so. Okay, I'll go ahead and top you up. What is that? Just a 2d6? Or-
I do 2d6. Yes.
Cool.
7.
Okay, so then you heal 1d6 plus your level. Yeah.
Cool.
8.
Okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, that tops me up.
Okay. All right. Assuming everyone gets whatever gear they might have left behind or anything like that, and Yulia is ready to head out.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
Let's go kick some butt and solve this case.
Go
Gorath will
protect somebody
top
from
off-
getting hurt.
Gorath will top off his flask and be
For
like,
sure.
"Yep, ready to go."
Yeah, and Malik wishes you guys good luck. Obviously, I'll be here. Come back if you guys want to crash here. Totally cool. Armand can see you guys out, and if you need anything, just ask him.
You got it, boy. Have a good rest.
Thanks. Try not to get killed.
Try not to burn up in the sun.
Thank you. That's a good. That is a good thing to remember.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. So you guys head off. So the plan is you're just gonna knock on the door. It sounds like, right?
Yulia's just a little too earnest to try anything different. She's just like, yeah, it'll work out just fine. We'll just knock on the door and say you're in danger, and everything will be just peachy because we'll protect you.
Okay, cool. So you guys, having looked at the map, you know the way. You head down the hill, past the. Basically you're on a cobblestone road. It's really nice, right? Like all the way down the hill, lush trees. You're headed towards the downtown, but you're off to the left, and you notice dirt roads and not so many trees, more like crappy weeds and things on the side of the road. You're in that part of town, and it's it's a not a hefty walk, but it takes you guys a few. Not really anything of note. There are, of course, as there often are in Cloud City, a few balloons, as you see. Let me see. Oh, yeah. You notice a black one again, which is interesting. You keep seeing these black balloons, which just something to note. Yeah, and it's starting. It's it's not dark at all. But you arrive at the wine residence. It's a nice. You kind of you don't recognize it because you only saw part of it. But it's a nice little comfortable home, right? With you can tell that the owner actually gives a shit, and there's a nice garden, well kept. That sort of thing. But yeah, not a rich place, not a poor place, just kind of a nice, this street is it's nice. It's not great, but it's nice.
Yulia's not gonna be wasting any time, really. She'll go up to the door. There is a window, correct?
A window. You mean at the front?
Just anything that I might be able to see light out of or movement.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there is. What exactly are you looking for? You're just wondering if people are milling around in there?
Yes, I'm just making sure that somebody's there, if it looks like there are people.
You walk up and you see there is a window, but you don't notice anything. It is light out, so you don't really notice light coming through. But you also don't see anybody necessarily rumbling, milling about in there just yet.
My perception is off because it's winter in Oregon, and it gets dark at like 5:30 here right now.
Totally. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
like 5:30 right now. It took you guys a half hour to get over here, but it's still, the sun has not come super close to coming down. I would say, I don't know. Let's see. Die of Fate, don't film it. You still have. It probably doesn't get dark until like 6:37.
I think Yulia will just go right up to the door and knock.
Okay, cool. And then, rap. Eventually, a person comes to the door and kind of cracks the door. Actually, no, in this case, she actually just flings it open and says, and she has like a, almost, not a startled, but like kind of an inquisitive, like, have you come for the party?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What party?
Oh,
You know the party.
my daughter's party. I'm sorry, but it's over.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm actually not here about the party. Although, congratulations to your daughter. What was the party for?
Oh, she just turned 16, so, and she kind of looks you up and down. And I'm sorry, I can't, what was it? Was like there was a, what was the ceremony that we said it was?
Oh, damn! We had a specific word.
I know my notes are all over the
Communion,
place.
which is a really Catholic thing, but we'll go with
confirmed.
we'll go with communion. Yeah, confirmed.
Oh yeah,
Confirmation.
Oh, yeah. I found it. She took her vows today.
And Yulia will look appropriately congratulatory. Oh, that's wonderful. I happen to be a sister in the church myself.
And she looks at you and kind of almost, like almost chuckles. Well, of course you are.
And Yulia will look kind of sheepish and say, I really hate to bring this to you on such a happy occasion, but I really need to speak with your family. This is the wine residence, correct?
Yes, that is right. I am Julia Wine.
Pleasure to meet you, Ms. Wine, but I really do have some news that I would like to share, and I would appreciate it if you allowed me to speak to you and your family.
And with that, she gives a quick eyeball, trying not to be super obvious, but looks at Gorath, and has a little, clearly has a little bit of a pause. Looks over at McMuffin, sees his elaborate clothes and well dressed, and kind of, and then she also like raises an eyebrow and kind of almost scorns because he's carrying a fishbowl with two fish in it. And that's a little weird.
He's still carrying that fishbowl.
And then she looks back at you, Yulia, and concentrates on your holy symbol, and you see her kind of, you like, it's almost like, she's like shrugs and like, whatever. And she said, "Of course, come on in. Can I make you some tea?"
Do you want us to come with, Yulia?
I mean, a party sounds fun, but if you want us to not be
Party
here,
is over, but Yulia will say, "Yeah, follow. Come on in, but let me do the talking if that's okay."
Right.
Okay. So Yulia will go ahead and follow Julia into the house. And,
sorry about Julia. That was a random. that just came up in a random thing. Julia and Yulia.
That's a lot closer to real life. I mean, I remember reading this comedy article about how in fantasy novels nobody has the same name. Like, if you hear a Yulia, then it's the same Yulia that you met several cities over. It's always the same person.
Totally.
So no, that's fine. Anyway, Yulia will come in and sit down and ask Julia where her daughter is at this moment.
Yeah, so she leads you through the home. The home is, of course, like, it smells of like herbs a lot. It's a lot of like, simple like earth tones. Really not, like, you remember now that you're in like the kitchen, like the sitting area. It'd be a sitting area, probably not a kitchen. Yeah, you recognize it from the last time you saw this place a little bit. Just like the color schemes, it's bright and cheery. Like it's not a dark place. And yeah, she sits with she beckons everyone to come in. And she skips the tea because you guys didn't want tea. And she says, well, Ivana has gone to the temple.
Julia looks a little nervous and says, I don't want to worry you too much, but I have had some visions that suggest that your daughter might be in trouble. You are aware of the attacks that have been happening in the city, I'm assuming.
And she takes your hand, Yulia, and she says, she just says, trouble? Ivana's in trouble? What kind of trouble? And kind of didn't hear the second part of your
yeah. I think Yulia understands that. She says, I'm not sure, but I have reason to believe that she might be attacked. And the reason I came here was because I would very much like to do whatever I can to help prevent that from happening. But I need to see Ivana and make sure that she's all right. So how long ago did she leave for the temple?
And yeah, so she probably gasped when you said like that she's in like mortal danger, essentially, is basically what she heard.
Yeah, it's no good way to break that news.
And you can see her, like, her facial expression. She's like just spinning. A bunch of things are going through her brain, and she went with her friends a few hours ago after and she would assume that you would know, like, that's part of the deal. When you take your vows, you have a party, but then you're to go to the church, the temple that night to pray or whatever. And now she's kind of like, like searching, like she's not even looking at you, just kind of trying to think. And she's asking you, like, she says, visions? I could tell by your clothing that you're one of the, I don't know what would they call a cleric in the church? It probably wouldn't be cleric, but let's just say cleric. Maybe she does. That you're a cleric. Can you tell me, what do you see in these visions?
Yulia kind of tries to weigh her answer because she doesn't want the mother to be absolutely terrified, but she also wants to kind of impress upon her that there's something to be worried about. So she'll kind of say that I don't often receive such strong visions. They tend to be more cryptic, but I have seen the families of those who have been, of the victims who have been murdered, and then after them, I have seen your family.
What would anyone want with my family?
Actually, what I'm hoping to find out. Do you know anyone who would have anything against your daughter? I mean, is there anything you can think of that has been strange or worrying?
And I'm not sure. She probably would say. She said, "Well, death visions are a little worrying." But she said, "My Ivana wouldn't hurt a fly. She was very, very excited to take her vows. She would probably very much like to speak to you. She certainly is interested in becoming a cleric with the church. She spends a lot of her time at the temple, actually."
How often would you say she goes?
Well, we, of course, go twice a week. I'm just making up. Like things that, like, and she says, like, obviously she would go twice a week because that's what you do with the Lady of Light. I don't know. I'm making it up. But for her studies, to take her vows, she's had to go, every day.
Who she has been studying with? Is it are they clerics or members of the church who you've known for a while? Has there been anyone new that she might be speaking with or introduced to?
And she kind of, takes a second to think about it and says, just the normal, I'm struggling with words. Like, I don't know what they would call them, but like, like the priests, she has, she does study under a few of the priests, but I really don't know. She mentions names, but no one that I haven't met or seen, like that I know of. The only person I haven't met is, of course, the high priestess, because why would she have time for me?
He kind of perks up and says, do you know if your daughter has met the high priestess?
Oh, yes, she has. But just briefly, but she would not stop raving about it.
Yulia kind of pauses and says, what did she tell you about her meeting with the priestess?
Oh, well, the high priestess attended one of her classes just to meet all the children. She said she was amazing, almost glowing. It was incredible.
How long ago did this happen?
Oh, it must have been perhaps a month ago.
Right when the murders started.
It's longer than a month, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has. Yulia will try to kind of be a little more casual with this question, but she'll say, the high priestess didn't happen to give your daughter anything, did she?
Well, not the high priestess specifically, no. I mean, the church did make a wonderful gift of a very nice mirror.
A mirror?
Mirror.
I keep it in my bedroom.
That mirror. Okay.
Yulia sends a look at McMuffin.
Yeah, and she looks over at McMuffin. She forgot he was there, and but looks at his elaborate clothes, and you can see you can almost sense her approval.
Muffin sort of smiles, and he sort of starts blushing, says, "Ooh."
Gorath is turning blue because he's held his breath.
Okay. I don't think, and this is out of character, I don't think we have any way for quick messaging. It's not like we have a raven or anything, and no offense, McMuffin, but I'm not letting Birdie out. Sorry. I don't need him eating any more cats. So I think Yulia.
Sorry.
Is that your alarm?
No, that's my phone.
Wow.
Yulia will thank Julia and say, I want you to be careful. I want to go find your daughter at the temple and make sure that she's okay. And if at all possible, I want to bring her back and try to keep her safe. But I know this sounds strange, but I want you to keep the room with the mirror in it. I want you to keep it closed and lock it if you can and sleep, elsewhere, but just be very cautious. And if anything starts going strangely, if at all possible, try and go. I don't know if I want to say go to the city guard or lock down inside. I don't know. What do you think, McMuffin?
Maybe also stay in your room. So if you're in, maybe not have any windows or any mirrors near you either.
Try to stay in a room that is protected and safe. And I will try to return with your daughter as soon as I can. I know that this is a really concerning thing to come to a family with, but I just want you to know I just want to make sure that you are all safe. I don't want anyone else to have to lose a daughter.
And she...
McMuffin sort of looks at... we're talking to the mother, right?
Yeah.
McMuffin looks at the mother and says, and I'm not sure what might happen in the night. I don't know what will happen, but he sort of digs into his bag and he pulls out a bottle. If anyone tries to attack you, throw this at them.
Turns them into an 8-armed giant that breathes fire.
Awesome.
No, I think that's fine. Yeah, mysterious potion. Go for it.
Okay.
I think it worked for me, Milk. So I'm just going to hand her one of the bottles.
Throw it. Don't drink
Hands
it.
in bottle. Don't drink it.
Don't drink it. I tried drinking it. Doesn't taste too good.
She takes the bottle gently from your hand and kind of looks at it, swishes it. It's like a pale green color, and then she kind of looks around at all three of you, and she definitely has like, are they batshit crazy look in her face, like, and she says, and she's just like, you've just given me a lot of crazy information. Mirrors, locked doors, stay out of my bedroom.
Yulia will try.
She says, I don't know what all that means, but if, and then she looks at you, Yulia, and like, I trust, like basically she's saying like, I trust the Lady of Light, and so I trust you. If there's something endangering my daughter, I definitely very much appreciate your help.
Yulia will say, I understand that this is a lot to take in, and I certainly hope that I'm wrong, and then I'm just being a crazy person right now, because that means that you don't have to worry about your daughter. But I would not be able to forgive myself if I had the information that I had, and I didn't do anything. So please just be as careful as you can, and try to keep you and your family safe until I can bring your daughter back to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she says, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just Gorath. Can I roll a wisdom to see if how serious the mother is taking this?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Okay.
Right.
See if I can recognize that.
With an 8, yeah. I mean, you can definitely see she is definitely freaked out. You would gather with the 8 that it's slightly more about her daughter than you weird people coming into her house telling her weird shit. But that's with an 8, that's probably all you get. But no, you can tell she's concerned for sure.
Okay, that's all I wanted to do.
Yulia will go ahead and stand up and say, all right, please remember what I've said and stay safe, and we will go to the temple and make sure that your daughter is okay.
Cool. And she says, of course, I'm going to stay here to see if she comes home, but yes, please bring my daughter home for me. Thank you.
If all else fails, run.
Don't say that.
Yeah, and she looks at McMuffin. Little. She gives you the weirdest look. Just like, are you crazy? She's definitely pondering if you guys are fucking 3 crazy people, for sure.
Thank you, kind lady, for your hospitalityness and your warm of welcoming into the household. I buy thee farewell.
Brian, by the way, she gave us tea, right?
She offered you tea, but you guys didn't accept.
Oh, damn. Oh, well.
Damn it, I wanted tea.
McMuffin's going to probably go tea bag. He's going to take a tea bag to go.
Gorath will continuously bow as he exits.
He does, backing up and bowing, and she's just looking at you guys like she's really reconsidering whether that was just fucking weird or not. But
oh god,
it's not. With Yulia
will hurry them out as quickly as possible. All right, you guys, time to go. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and with that, I'm assuming they exit. And Yulia's definitely pondering the mirror. The high priestess gave the family a mirror, and
not the high priestess. She said the church.
Oh, the church gave them a mirror. Okay, I'll fix that. The church gave them a mirror. I wonder if anyone else, any of the other families that have been affected by this, got a mirror.
Me too.
This is a question.
We saw into the victims' families. I don't know if it was all of them, but it was certainly. It certainly seemed like the victims' families all had this sort of mirror into their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Yulia's ready to go to the temple and see what's up.
Shall we haste make?
We shall haste make.
And so there's haste made.
Back delicious haste.
Yeah, back up the dirt road back to the towards downtown. You guys, it's definitely closer. It's starting to get a little dark, right?
Getting towards twilight or sunset.
Yeah, you can still see just fine, but it is definitely early evening. You guys go by the infinity pool, and fond memory, because you're that's on the way to the temple. Fond memories of your little swim in there. That's fun.
Twas.
Yeah, and you reach the church, the temple. What would you like to do?
Does it look like there's? It is later. I would assume that the church probably is more about the priests and priestesses rather than giving a service. I mean, she's the Lady of Light. Probably services are in the morning or in the afternoon.
Right.
So I think Yulia will try to go up and are there windows that we can see in?
Not right now, no, because like it's kind of night. The doors are not open. Like it's not, people aren't coming and going necessarily. It seems kind of quiet. There's definitely, there's probably someone out front lighting the lights for the place, because I'm not sure the temple ever technically closes, but it's definitely not in business right now, as far as you can tell.
There are people outside lighting torches or candles or lanterns.
Yeah, I imagine at this time in the city, I suppose, I would be thinking that it's somebody's job.
I thought that's what you said.
No, there's probably people walking through the city lighting whatever city lights there are, including for sure the temple. Right, the temple would definitely be lit at night, I would think.
Anyone clearly dressed in temple clothing outside?
Not that you can see, no.
Okay. I'm sorry I'm kind of hogging this, you guys. McMuffin, Gorath, what would you like to do?
McMuffin is going to look at Yulia and says, should we get into dress? Should we make it look like we're part of here? Temple?
Full goers that we can mug for their clothing immediately visible.
Sweet. Doing the full Scooby or the full Star Wars. However you want to look.
Yep. Aren't you a little short for a temple priest?
Exactly. So let me get this straight. The priest wants the Lady of Light cleric wants to mug 2 of her flock for their robes.
I'm imagining Yulia was completely sarcastic when she said that. Gorath and McMuffin might not know that.
Okay. McMuffin will look at Yulia and says, would that be a holy thing to do? I don't feel like that'd be appropriate. But I mean, if that's what you want, then I mean, it must be right.
Okay, Yulia says don't mug anyone. Let's just get an idea of what's going on. Maybe, I mean, honestly, maybe Yulia could just go in or look inside by herself, since she's the one who has the get-up for it.
Also, sure. Muffin says maybe you could also just grab a couple for us. I can definitely find one that fits me.
I'll find a storeroom. Their laundry is...
There's always a storeroom.
There always is. There has to be. Okay. Well, unless anybody has a better idea, I think that's what Yulia will go for. Just kind of going in.
How will we know if you need help?
If you hear screaming inside, that's probably a good bet.
Right, yeah. Okay.
What do you want us to do while we're waiting?
You guys can always try to scope out the area. Again, and this is, again, more for Brian, but if there's anything that they can do to look inside the various rooms of the church, that maybe they can see what's going on inside, how many people there are, what they're doing.
Cool. Yeah, there would definitely be like, being the Lady Light, obviously they would have windows, but I would think that they were mostly like stained glass, that colored, crystally to reflect light, to not just windows. But I bet you could probably look through. It's the kind of thing probably you'd have to get up there and like stick your face and because it's not like a clear window.
Okay. I mean, Gorath could give McMuffin or Yulia a boost and see if they can see anything.
Yeah,
100
if you go in,
100%. Oh, sorry.
and then
Go ahead.
I can hoist up McMuffin, and he can watch, and that way we know if we need to go in.
Yeah, so
Right.
1,000,000%, just because it's the most hilarious thing I can think of, 1,000,000% you, like, McMuffin would have to get on Gorath's shoulders to look in the windows, because I really want that roll to go badly. And Yulia, you can just bop right in if you want.
Yeah. All right. I mean, she'll probably peek in very sneakily first. Just to
You want to
see what
peek in the
she's
window
getting
first?
into.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Gorath is rolling for some reason.
Strength.
Oh, cool.
You definitely can lift up McMuffin.
Cool. Let's have that dex roll. Who's getting up there to look in the peek in the window? I want to see this. McMuffin
Hell
nails it.
yeah.
Yeah.
McMuffin jumps right up. It's thick crystally window, but so you put your hand up and you can kind of see, you can see, you would be able to see shapes and that sort of thing, but like you're not seeing anything right now. It looks like the main, because this would be like the hallway into like like the vestibule or something. You can't see inside to the actual, the main chamber from here, because there's like a, you walk through and there's like a little hallway for greeting and whatnots, and then you go into the main big doors that go into the main temple. But there appears to be nobody in the, I don't know what we're going to call it, vestibule, veranda, yeah. The veranda, some V word. It's a veranda vestibule. How about that?
Okay. Well, I don't really have a better plan. I think Yulia's just gonna go inside and see if she can find. She's gonna be sneaky about it. If it's kind of deserted and kind of dark on the inside, she can use that to her advantage. But just try to figure out where these classes might be held, where Ivana might be. Just look around.
Cool. So, like, you go up to the main door, right? Like, that is a large door, but it is currently shut. But it's not locked.
Not
Large.
locked. Okay.
Yeah, like this is typically just like wide open, so people can come and go and that sort of thing. And there's a few of them, right? Like the vestibule is this long. It's like an outer chamber for this almost circular, large temple. The main temple, and so it's like it's an area where people can come in and out and gather and like how at churches they you walk by and shake hands and whatever and talk. Anyway, the door is very, very old, heavy door, and it creaks very loudly. But
Of course.
But so you attempt to just like, I'm assuming, try to not
just
open it
enough
very
to
much.
Slip through.
Exactly.
Yeah, open it just enough to slip through, and try to close it quietly so it doesn't slam. I know it's creaking, but we can at least avoid the slamming.
Yeah, just let's just see. I don't. Oh yeah, and you close it very gently without a peep, and now you're in. It's a stone floor. It's it'd be like a 20-foot wide, long hallway that goes. It's a very long hallway, multiple doors in and out of the main temple. Very large, grandiose doors. So essentially, these are also closed. 'Cause, it's past time, and this isn't one of the days. There's no services. So you're in here alone. It is dimly lit, but it is lit, and there's heavy doors.
To go is forward. Can I hear any sound of people talking or anything like that coming in any direction?
Roll me perception, wisdom. Give me wisdom. Let's see what you hear.
Oh, yes. 9.
You can't make out any of the sound. Like occasionally there's a little bit of a flutter of, maybe it's laughter, maybe it's, you can't really tell, but there's definitely people in here. But it's very muffled.
Okay. Again, only way to go is forward, so Yulia will try to walk quietly so that you can't really hear her footfalls, and go up and try to listen to whatever doors she comes across to see if there's anything to hear.
Cool. And so you do the same thing with this second pair of doors? You just try to open it, crack, because it also is in need of oil. If only you'd had some oil on you. Holy water doesn't really help with the creaky doors, strangely.
Unfortunately.
And so, you crack it again. You slide through, but you cross your feet a little, and the door slams. Diafate is you're shooting 50% on Diafate.
Yulia kind of freezes. You just do that thing where you're trying to be sneaky, and you just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it echoes through the whole place, right? Like, hilarious.
Yep. She'll stay still for a while to see if she can hear anyone coming to investigate the sound.
So you don't hear anything.
I went into... Wait, did I go into this new room, or did I just peek into it and then the door slammed on me?
You were trying to slide in again. Yeah, and the door got away from you. It's just like, oh, shit. Boom.
Did I see anything inside the room? Was there lights on or anything?
There are lights. It being the Lady of Light, they try to keep that thing going. So it is well lit. There's no one in the main chamber that you can see.
Okay. Keep on going. Am I heading towards the room with the mirror in it? Am I going
That's an excellent question.
Direction?
You could be. So the back room. So you're in the main room, far back. The main altar is in the center, other side of the room from you. The room's pretty big, probably 100 feet or more. Spacious, like normally filled with people praying, like rugs and that sort of thing. They don't do chairs here. You get, Lady of Light, whatever. And behind the altar is the secret room and the fancy room, that kind of thing. Kitchen back there, more rooms. You guys have never really gone the other way around the altar, so we're not actually sure what's back there.
Well, now I'm curious.
I see it as almost like a horseshoe, with the open end of the horseshoe being the altar, right? Like it's kind of that kind of deal. And behind the altar, there's the door that leads to the rich people's, place to bilk the rich people.
McMuffin, do you see anything?
No, I don't see anything. Everything's blurry. I can't even see Yulia. What should we do?
Shall we go in?
She hasn't said anything, and she hasn't come back with the clothes. I say either we find an entrance, or want to play rock paper scissors?
Sure. That's fine.
All right, best out of two.
All right.
Yulia's life might be in immediate danger. But whatever.
Oh.
Damn
Oh. Tiebreaker.
Oh. Always get me with scissors.
McMuffin, because he's so excited, he says, "Ha! Eat shit!" He's gonna say that out loud.
Awesome.
Hopefully, no one heard them.
So, McMuffin, what are you doing? Are you opening the door?
Yeah, he's gonna look at the door. He's gonna say, "I'm gonna go around and see if there's another entrance."
Okay. Let's see. Cool. So yeah, you boogie around, and you see it's almost like the size of a city block, not an actual city block, like not New York City block, but like there is definitely an alleyway, that leads to back down the alleyway, where you would expect maybe there's deliveries or whatnot down this. But it is not well lit.
Okay. By any chance, do I see anyone in the alleyway? Do I see anyone delivery? Would I know how delivery people are dressed or something?
You might. I mean, you would just kind of, that's like in New York. Do you recognize delivery people when they're not delivering? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're not delivering, but when they're delivering, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
more so. McMuffin's asking, does he know how people dress?
Yeah, if you're in New York, as you often are, you would have that much. It would be the same thing, right? Like I don't know. It's a dude in a suit. Yeah, but a dude wearing a suit, not a delivery guy, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This would be
Muffin's
robes,
gonna
I suppose. Robes probably mean not delivery guy, right?
Well, McMuffin's going to sort of look at the alleyway. He's going to scratch his head. And he's going to turn away for a minute and then go back to Gorath. And he's going to look at Gorath and say, "Gorath, weird question. But would you know where there's a tailor shop or a clothes shop?"
Gorath, who walks around mostly bare-chested, save for a few, almost bandolier-style things, will say, I can't say that I do. I don't know Cloud City that well. And, what's a tailor?
They make clothes, but don't worry about it. I'll be right back. Just stay here, don't do anything. McMuffin's gonna start just looking for a clothing shop. It's Cloud City. I'm sure there is one.
Oh, God.
I can't believe
that's awesome. Can you make me some priest robes in 10 minutes?
Wow. Okay.
Not even buy something, but have you played Hitman? All I'm thinking is he's oh yeah, I'm gonna sneak in and take someone's clothes, and he realizes, wait, he's not that, so he's just gotta go buy them. Anyway,
so let me get this out of game. I just want to make sure I understand. McMuffin is I'm too well dressed to be a delivery person. I need to go find some rags. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, find commoner clothes. Clothes that will
damn you, elaborate clothes. I think you're foiling me.
You having classic clothes.
Okay.
Damn my class privilege.
Instead of being a supervisor, walking in to see if maybe the deliveries hadn't been made, he goes the other way. Solid.
McMuffin, very smart. I love it.
Yeah, and so like you walk down the street, all the street merchants of course have said, have moved on. You don't see. Let's see. You do see, like a clothing store, or at least a store that with a light on that appears like it has clothing.
McMuffin's going to walk over to the store, and he's going to enter. I'm assuming it's open, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna walk in.
Cool. And there is a young lady behind the counter, or like tending to things, straightening, and she says without even looking at you, "We're about to close up. Can I help you with something?"
Yes. I was wondering if you had any, general, common-looking clothes, for delivery. I'm trying to get a delivery set, and these clothes won't do. Will that take too long, or would you be able to make some time?
And she said, "Are you just looking for workman's clothes?
Yes.
Like a workman's frock, perhaps?"
Yes. I don't know what that looks like, but yes.
I don't either. She says, "Oh, well, of course we," and she pulls one off the rack. It's just like it looks like a simple, like almost like it would be like the equivalent of a more beefy like apron, something to keep your clothes from getting dirty, but like for workmen. They could fit over your existing clothes. Would this do? Yeah, exactly.
Like this.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe something a little bit more casual, like common clothes.
That's pretty common.
Pretty nice. Yep.
That would be pretty common.
Pretty nice.
Yep.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, if it helps you, this frock is shitty.
Okay, I'll take it.
Cool.
Oh, and he looks around. Are there any hats?
Yeah, she pulls down like the biggest, dumbest, ugliest looking hat that looks, almost like like an oversized, like almost like a skull cap, like what a peasant would wear, right? Like just like a crappy hat. 2 silver, please.
Silver? McMuffin's gonna. Do I have
That's
money?
it, exactly.
I
That
don't
hat too.
know how much money I'm carrying. Let me check. I don't remember the last time we talked about money. Give me a second. Check to see if I actually have money.
I don't know how much money you guys have, actually.
Gorath is
I need
fucking
to
rich.
check that. I know
True.
I wrote it down a
Is
long
rolling in it.
He really is. And she asks you, "What's with the fish?"
I can't believe McMuffin is still carrying this fish around.
Mm-hmm.
Muffin.
Well, I don't really have anywhere to put them, so I've been just like taking care of them. Oh, and I got 34 silver. McMuffin's just gonna hand over his silver and he just puts down 5 silver as a tip.
Okay, cool.
That's what he's delivering. He's delivering the fish.
And he's going to. Do you have a dressing room, real quick?
And she says, "Dressing room." Oh, somewhere you can put
my clothes on.
Yes, and she.
I don't want to do it on right.
She walks over to like to the wall and pulls back a curtain. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. McMuffin's going to run in there, put down his obviously going to put down the fish tank, take off his clothes, and then he's going to get dressed into these workman's clothes.
Cool. And as you're taking as you're putting on the clothes, the frock hits Gorath's voodoo doll just a little bit on the neck and pulls the neck a little. And Gorath, you feel that. All of a sudden your neck hurts a little.
Must have slept weird.
Gorath, are you doing anything, or are you just kind of being a central?
Oh, is my mic not picking me up?
No, I heard you.
Slept weird.
I mean, he sees, McMuffin take off to the clothing shop. I assume he'd be like, he would want to still be where he could possibly hear the screams of Yulia if
Sure.
that's going to happen. But also not abandon McMuffin.
Yeah, and so you're almost ear to the door almost, and as random people walk by, you're like tipping your non-existent hat to them, or evening, that kind of thing.
Yep. Good day, madam and sir. Oh, sorry, you're not a madam. Yep. Never mind. Yep. Carry on.
And everyone is. You notice everyone, for whatever reason, seems to scurry past you, like seems to pick up their gait a little as they walk past you. It's weird.
Yep.
McMuffin, I think he's gonna finish getting dressed.
Cool.
He's gonna grab his clothes, his elaborate clothes, grab his fish tank, and as he's exiting, he looks at the woman and says, by any chance, would you have anything that would fit an orc?
And she says, how big is an orc?
McMuffin thinks about it from how big is do I roll wisdom to gauge how big Gorath is, waist size and whatnot?
Yeah, you would probably be you would probably almost measure your shoulders with your own hands, and then you'd take it out a foot on each side, so big.
Yeah.
And she's okay.
McMuffin sort of uses his hands and he sort of he's really big. He's chonky.
And she pulls a different frock off the rack, off the wall, and it's seeming like it looks like a bed sheet to you. So, would this work?
Are they matching my outfit?
Yes.
Honestly, God bless. Okay, that's out of character. McMuffin's going to say yes. I'll take that too.
And she said, "Well, you've given me plenty. This was, it would have been another silver, but or two because it's big." But she's like, "Yep, we're good. We're square. Here you go."
Thank you. He's going to take that, and he's going to say, "Have a good night, and be careful. There's some dangerous people out here. And you might actually help us figure this out too." He's going to give a wink and then sort of leave.
And she sees you out and flips the open sign to close and locks the door.
Oh.
And as she's walking away, you can't hear her. She says, "Some weird people out tonight."
McMuffin's going to run back. He's out of breath. He's going to go to Gorath and he says, "Here, take these, wear this."
What is it?
It's workers' clothes. We're going to be giving a delivery, as you would call it.
Right.
We're going investigating.
Gorath will just throw it on. How tightly does this fit?
Not even a little. Not even a little tight. It's massive. She gave you it's way bigger than you need.
We're delivery men, and we got to get in there, and we look too suspicious just walking in there like that. So, let's do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Muffin's going to go down the alleyway, and it's going to sort of just look around. Is there anyone around?
You don't see anybody. Is Yulia back?
Oh.
I am back.
Cool. Let's flip to Yulia for a sec. Cool.
Okay.
Yulia, so you're standing in the temple, and you're, what is it you want to do?
I'm still poking around trying to find either a closet full of robes because Yulia doesn't know the change in the plan, or a class where clerics in training might be, just trying to find some sign of what might be happening.
Okay. So one of off to the left, you see what appear to be could be closets, just a couple doors.
Okay. Go ahead and open them a crack.
Cool. So you go up to one, you open the door. Let's see. So the three large candle lighters, two-handed, they're like poles, for lighting candles up on the ceiling, fall out and crash to the ground.
Wait, they fall out?
Yeah.
Is this
you open the door.
Packed?
Yeah, you open the door. And
he opened it like a crack. Come on, Brian. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
She opened it a crack.
Hey, Die of Fate doesn't lie.
Okay. Well, a little too late to do anything about that now. What else can she see in this room? I'm assuming it's a packed cupboard of some kind.
Yeah, this looks like it literally looks like the storeroom. It's got extra candles, candle lighters, all the things. It looks like a maintenance closet. Clearly, those maintenance people are a little bit hasty and don't fully secure their tools.
I'm assuming that there are no clothes. It's more like cleaning supplies. Is there clothing in here?
There would be. You see some frocks.
Yulia will grab a couple of frocks and hastily stuff them into her bag.
Along with her books. At least you're not carrying fish. No fish.
It's like a Mary Poppins purse, really. It's just like she's got everything in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, she will keep an ear out and try to put the candle lighters back in there and close the door and proceed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you stuff them back in the door and you slam the door behind it so they don't fall out again. That makes a noise, and then you can hear them fall inside the closet. and you're like, you put your hands against the door, and when you spin around, there are three robed people staring at you. One has a yellow robe, one has an orange robe, and one has a purple robe. And that's
you two aren't primary colors. What are you doing here?
And that's where we'll end it today.
All right. All right. Dun, dun, dun.
That's funny.
That's pretty fun. I'm excited.
Cool. Yeah. Hold on. I got to make some notes so I don't forget where we are.
Yep.
I went clothes shopping in D&D.
I know, right? Happens more often than you'd think.
And Gloreth are, I want to say defrocked, but let's say frocked. Attempting to...
In the temple now, or are they just now coming inside, or
they're in they're down the left side alley, the delivery alley. Yeah, just walking down the alley. They do not see anyone, but they are not out. They're still outside.
Yep.
Cool.
So those color guard people are very sneaky and quiet.
They really are.
Or maybe I'm just making way too much noise.
I mean,
despite...
little column A, little column B.
Like I know just from that experience, it's like I know fucking Brian has worked in like food service and that kind of shit, because the sticks and stuff falling out of closets is such a real thing.
It totally is.
It's such a, because people just throw that shit in there and with no regard for who's coming next. And there are several times I've like gone to the utility closet to grab a mop or something, and open it, and like the broom and the mop and a bucket just all fall out.
100%. I have been hit by a mop. And oftentimes I'm the guy that put that mop in there to begin with. So
right.
Hilarious. Yeah. And yeah, it's never, yeah. That's the shitty job that no one wants to do that someone has to do. It's great.
Yep.
That was fun. A little bit of Scooby Doo. I like the frocking. That was pretty fun.
Oh dear. I'm definitely interested to see how this goes, but damn. I hope Korath and McMuffin can come quick.
Splitting the party is always fun, right?
Yulia's not great on hand-to-hand combat by herself. 3 against 1.
That would be, problematic.
There is always the better part of valor.
Running away.
Running. Yeah. That certainly could apply. That was fun. Interesting.
Fun.
I really had zero idea where you guys were going to go with this.
Really? Zero idea?
I mean,
I don't know about that.
I was like, well, you got a bunch of stuff that we don't know what it is. Like, you've got the murder mystery, which, you guys were definitely are good at figuring out. It's fun. But I didn't know what you were going to do.
Murder mystery. No, I like the murder mystery aspect to it, and it seems a little more, I don't know, pressing. Somebody's going to get murdered if we don't hurry our asses up. We got lots of other irons in the fire, but I think that one was definitely the highest of the list of time sensitive.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. That's super fun. I mean, plus, you burnt down someone's house. That's probably that might come back at you. I don't know.
Well, they weren't a good person.
Clearly. I mean, it's not like they had voodoo dolls of you guys and knew who you were.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Exactly. Voodoo dolls, I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure there aren't 18 different things waiting to bite us in the ass when we're minding our own business.
Super fun. Hey, man.
It turns out it was Malik all along.
Yeah.
He's totally the supervillain.
And I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids.